Hello everyone. This is my final evaluation presentation for Hope House. So a quick introduction. Hope House began their services in 1993 with both the Women's Interrogancy HIV study and HIV epidemiology study and the Junior League of Memphis. So the Junior League of Memphis began to form their board of directors in the same year. After that, in 1994, Hope House held their first meeting with the board of directors, and the Junior League of Memphis also begins to search for their home. And in 1995, Hope House eventually opens their doors with a total of 5 children, and by 1999 they reached to a total of 37 children who are receiving services. As they began to expand in 2001, they eventually opened up their first preschool. By 2005, Hope House has a third home, and they specifically begin to provide services to adults, and they also begin to offer play therapy focusing on behavioral problems. And in 2006, they then began a program for homeless. And in 2008, they finally received accreditation from the National Association of Education of Young Children, and they become partners in 2014 with Shelby County, and begin to provide services for HIV infected individuals that are victims of crime by 2017. And they also began to offer emergency housing support for those who are infected by HIV. Finally, in 2018, an outreach program for therapeutic services is created, and in 2020, Hope House becomes a licensed mental health center, leading to their continued expansion in the year 2021 for HIV testing and medical care. So just a quick overview of Tennessee and national HIV levels. The Tennessee Department of Health completed its first continuum of care analysis in 2010, revealing that Tennessee underperformed relative to the general U.S. population in both linking newly diagnosed PLWH to care within 90 days and retaining patients in HIV care over time. Tennessee has attempted to end HIV, but continues to lag in linkage to care, medical care. At a national level, all races are impacted by HIV, but racial and ethnic disparities continue to soar across regions, and particularly with preventing HIV among Black and Hispanic women. So my program research goal is to determine the relationship between HIV and a person's physical health and how much they are bothered physically in consequence of HIV. So I have 2 independent variables. One is pre-health. Question is, how is your health? The second one is pre-physical HIV. The question for that one is, how much are you bothered by any physical problems related to your HIV infection? Comparing these 2 variables is done through the relationship between HIV and a person's physical health and how much they are bothered in consequence of the virus. The data is used to see if there is an effect on physical health or if the health problem simply stands alone and do not correlate with each other. I used a chi-square test, and I used independent nominal variables. So here are my results. How is your health, and how much are you bothered physically by the HIV infection? And here is the explanation for both of the charts. So if we look at very poor health, it's affected at a 0% and not at all, a little and very much, and is a 9.1% in the extreme amount, meaning that there was only one individual who was having issues. Poor nor good health was affected at a 9.1%, which was one person. Not at all and a little for 9.1. For very much, it's at 18.2%, two individuals, and in extreme amount, we had 0%. Good health, both not at all and extreme amount had a total of 9.1 each, and a 0% in a little and very much. Very good health, we had not at all at 27.3%, very much bothered at 9.1, and 0% in a little and extreme amount. The data represents that the highest percentage derived from not at all being physically affected due to their health, making it at a 45.5%, totaling at 5 individuals, and a little being physically affected due to their health at 9.1%, which was only one person. Very much had an overall percentage of 27.3, which equals to 3 individuals, while an extreme amount had a total of 18.2%, which was 2 individuals. Implications and conclusion. Results show that in both pre-health and physical HIV are not affected by the HIV and have little percentages when comparing them to each other. On the charts, we can visually analyze that neither are dependent on each other, which states that HIV does not have a significant impact based on the 11 individuals that provided their feedback. Hope House aids with resources and testing, and this can determine how additional examinations may be needed to see if their physical issues are in consequence of HIV or if there's another underlying condition. With those testings, the information may be utilized by Hope House to determine whether or not they have to help with their treatment, or if outside resources or testing may be needed. Additional assistance and external resources may need to be allocated for those who are in need. And these are my references, and that is it.